Heather from Love After Lockup has been crashing the fuck out. And it's been going on for at least a week. Well, actually, it's been going on for years, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And then today she came out with a video and wanted to give us an update on her situation, but it sounds the same thing. It sounds like once again everybody is after her. No accountability for being a horrible mother, a person, and like a whole bunch of other shit. But yeah, so let's check out her little update and then let's talk about what the fuck she's been doing this week with her crash outs.
Weeks have passed since I've spoken with my oldest daughter. No idea why. I call every day. Supposedly she changed her phone number and moved. So that's weird. Again, I'd like to remind everyone that prior to 16 weeks ago, I spoke with my older daughter every single day, multiple times a day. Then my son and my younger daughter and Weston appeared to be stable, but who knows. And then Weston is still being held by this alleged DCFS system. However, I've gone to the courthouse 4 times with Xavier, called more than 10 times, emailed more than 10 times, have not so much as received a response from anyone. Mind you, I'm acting as my own attorney with a pro se attorney, with a standby bar attorney also assigned to this case, court appointed. Cannot get a hold of my court-appointed attorney, which is a violation of my human rights in this country, constitutional rights in this country. It's been the same amount of time since I've been able to speak with my daughter that I have not been able to speak with my attorney. Haven't been able to speak with the state's attorneys. Haven't been able to review any of the evidence. Haven't been able to do anything. The alleged DCFS took Xavier out of visits. Say hi. So he's literally sitting in the lobby of the building while I have my visit with Weston. They're not even allowing him to spend time with his child. I don't know really what's going on. I don't know. The climate here in Chicago is weird. The street signs are being changed. One-ways that are always historically one way in one direction are being changed to the other direction. There are do not enter signs and like closures on random ramps. There's a lot of detours. You know, it's very weird. And then the streets look like the literal Walking Dead. I've seen so many people that look sleep deprived or fucked up or whatever, like just wandering around. And then inside the buildings, it's like a parallel universe. It's like everyone is dressed to the T. It's 3 p.m. and there's like a huge gathering of drunk people. They're charging covers to get into bars and restaurants. Rooftops are charging covers. The Godfrey's charging a cover. It's the middle of the day. It's like early afternoon. I started driving this morning at 8 a.m. and it's just been nothing but inconsistent orders, or like orders that are like not worth it, like $3 to like the South Side Hyde Park. Hyde Park is in some sort of weird like dark zone or black zone. I don't know what's going on there. Literally every single time I go there to pick up an order, my phone starts buffering. The Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats apps all start buffering, and it says that there's no internet connection and it won't allow me to confirm orders, take photos of orders, none of that. And I'm not going to get set up by these people again. So I went to a Chinese restaurant to do a pickup, and the guy's like, you need to leave and press, drive a few blocks away and press accept and then come back. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I had to do that 3 times to pick up one order. 3 times. So they've got Hyde Park in some sort of internet zone. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. And then you've got the downtown area looking at ground level, like ground zero, with people literally like wandering around looking lost, and the other half upstairs like getting fucked up for a cover charge. I have never in my life paid a cover charge to go into a restaurant. It's 3 p.m. It's a restaurant, and they're charging people a cover. It's wild. It is not nighttime. It is literally daytime. Then the temperature when we leave the house the last 3 days has been low 40s. By noon, 82. So I'm like in a turtleneck and like a coat and profusely sweating, like have no idea what the fuck is going on here. If you add up all of the things that are just not making sense, you have like a shitstorm of just chaos. And there are no answers, and there's no one like taking leadership or taking the role of why don't we address these issues or even communicate with regards to what we observe or perceive to be happening. It's just like left to the imagination, And about 4 months ago, I did an update where I was telling you guys that there was a team here. Now, mind you, from day to day, my quality of life changes. There are days that whoever's here, and when I say team, let me clarify, whoever is responsible for the oppression or whatever regime is running the show locally. I do believe that the local government has not been here, has not been active. It's just not been normal by any sense of the word for quite some time. But there will be days where the teams are normal, functioning, high functioning individuals you can communicate with, and there are steady rides. There's nothing weird or funny about them, and everything seems to be pretty stable. And then you wake up the next morning and it's like you have to really wonder what the fuck is going on. It's like an entirely different demographic, different education levels, different income levels, and it's really weird. I'm making the hypothesis that has something to do with social media and algorithms classifying people by similar interest and things of that nature. But I think there's definitely a more nefarious side, because, as I said, there are certain days that I wake up in the space and I come to do my job and I drive around and I witness people looking happy, healthy, a lot of exercising, a lot of these just kind of niche interests going on. And then there are other days it's like everyone's just getting drunk and high and fucked up openly in the street. Like, I have no idea what's going on. So I am gonna just keep on driving around here, but I just think it's really weird that they keep on marking me absent for my schedule block because they sent me to the south side to drop something off. I'm not absent. I'm on your platform. I'm literally actively working on your platform, but they're marking me absent. Then yesterday, Xavier and I worked a 12-hour day. We were driving for 14 hours total. 12 of those were making, about 13 of those were making deliveries. And they marked me down for 7 hours. And I literally started at 8 a.m. and did not get home until nearly a little after midnight. A little after midnight. So I don't know what's going on there. There's no continuity from day to day. There's a lot of, I've been in Chicago my entire life. There's a lot of what they call map changing. Streets that we know are there that literally we have photo shoots of us standing on are not there. Street signs, like places that you can go to park your car on, whether it's paid parking or whatever, just say tow zone. And it's just not consistent and it's not reliable to even trust your eyes anymore. It's a very scary kind of experience. So I'm not really happy with it at all. It's causing me a great deal of stress and discomfort, confusion. And I don't know, the cryptic messages written out on license plates, and then literally these cars will cut people off to get in front of me so that whatever these messages are on their license plates can be seen. I don't know why or what they're really attempting to communicate. It doesn't really make any sense to me. Some of them will be threatening, some of them will be action, some of them will be name calling. But this was also a common theme in 2019 when I began reporting on all of this. And if you scroll back, I have hundreds of videos of me just giving updates and saying what's been going on and what type of, situation has been occurring and what the environment looks like. I'm a little concerned, to say the least. So I'm trying to see, I think there might be a Cubs game today, but if I go to Wrigley, I will be out of my boundary because I have been approved to deliver in the 60611, which is the downtown area. So I still might go check it out. I've already wasted 20 miles of gas just driving around looking for orders. And so I don't know, what the plan of action is. Things that work for me yesterday and make the day go smoothly, they don't work for me tomorrow. You know what I mean? There's no way for me to know. It's like every single morning I'm waking up to just nothing is clearly defined and the expectations are not at all transparent. So it almost feels like I'm being punished, or you're being punished just for existing in this space. You can feel when you walk into the climate, when people don't want you to be there. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of redirecting. There's a lot of control. There's a lot of just weird stuff going on. So I don't really know, how to gauge it or what to blame it on. At this point, it's at some certain point, when do I just save the gas? You know what I mean? If the team that was here yesterday, whoever was responsible for yesterday, if they're here tomorrow, I will be in good shape, right? But if I'm just driving around for free today, not getting orders, then I'm better off parking. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just, I feel like I'm, besides the stress that you guys know I'm already dealing with, still having no answers as to what's going on with my situation. No responses from the court system since Xavier was asked to be removed from visits for no reason at all. Literally, we were following the same format of visits that we followed since we began having visits. Xavier was teaching Weston how to play the drums. Literally, he loved it. He was so happy to play the drums with his father, and then for no reason they just removed him. Nothing happened. There was no violation of any rules, nothing. They removed him.
I'm gonna get my coffee from here, so I'll get your drink.
Okay. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to blame it on. I don't know how to explain it. But it's definitely very frustrating. I feel like the United States government has failed in general. The fact that they continue to harass me when I ask for assistance or express some concern for my physical safety or the things that are going on around us is absolutely disgusting. The fact that they are still being permitted to harass me and call me these names and bully me and threaten me and all of this, it's a tremendous fail for the authority of this country and everything that it stands for. I don't know how a citizen of this country or a non-citizen can be in the middle of a court case and be denied access to their attorney. I have an order, so please hurry. Which is illegal. You can't be denied access to your attorney. So I'm really glad for social media and the ability to document everything that's going on. I am confident that the failures of the United States government in 2026 will be corrected in the future. You have to stay hopeful. These people are ridiculous. It's like I always say, would you be happy with your daughter or your wife being forced to live the way that you're forcing me to live? The answer is always going to be no. Unless you are from a family that's really suffering. But where I'm from, the people who go to school, go to work, those types, that demographic, the demographic that sits in Congress, the demographic that sits, on a judge's stand, the demographic that works as attorneys and state's attorneys, you would never in a million years be willing to trade lives with me for even a day. And if you could really see what it is, my words, they don't mean shit. They're nothing compared to what I'm actually living. What I express as being a problem is probably 1/100th of what's actually going on that I cannot verbalize. So I just hope that YouTube and Instagram and Facebook are able to keep all of this as intellectual property. And in the future, when they're making documentation about the state of the world and all of this, that they can look back and say, that there's clearly something going on here and kind of find some sort of causality, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one who has been experiencing or witnessing these types of inconsistencies in not only quality of life, but income, opportunity, and then they keep on telling me to run. Random strangers keep on approaching me, telling me to run and escape. Run where and escape to what from what? No one has anything else to say other than that. So I do know that I have been in the past used as a scapegoat or attempted to be used as a scapegoat, but the people who blamed me for whatever it was they were blaming me for were eventually proven to be wrong. So I've been waiting for about an hour for order. Of course, as soon as Xavier gets out of the car to go get something, I get an order. So I'll let you guys go for now. But this is just a space in existence where I would not care to exist. As I said, I support non-predatory environments, and this is not that. So have a good day.
There goes Heather blowing our minds once again because she's always with the shits, right? Oh my God. She'll be evicted in 2 weeks, unfortunately for her. But then again, I heard she wasn't paying her rent, and that's why she allegedly is being kicked out. But supposedly, according to her, no, it's because they think that Xavier is living there. The motherfucker's there every single day. But anyways, yeah. She was complaining in this video. The update that she's giving us is that she can't get in contact with her lawyers or the courts or whatever. This is, of course, in regards to her losing custody of her son and she lost custody of all her other children because she's a horrible mother. But anyways, yeah, she was talking about complaining how she can't get work, she can't get orders. Hopefully she'll get one while Xavier was in the store and she was talking to us. And that Xavier went and lost his visits with the baby. That one really stood out. Anyway, she's continuing to lose it all the time and crash out. And she crashed out a few days ago. And I'm going to show you guys how she was behaving, just emotionally and mentally unstable. That's what it appears like in the video, from her crying and screaming and shouting and talking about things that don't make sense at all. And this is what Heather does. Really sad to see, to be honest with you, but you know, there's nothing you can do if somebody doesn't want to help themselves.
I could no longer be human sex trafficked anymore, or I might die. When I started actively, externally calling for assistance with the situation, when I felt like there was nothing I could do to control the situation anymore. I was then told at that time in 2019 that there was nothing that they could do. Some sort of underground renegade watchdog group approached me to tell me that the National Human Sex Trafficking Hotline is actually just a Rolodex for trafficked individuals, where predators actually grab that list and pretend to be solutions so that they can basically enslave the person to sex for the rest of their life. And that the Human Sex Trafficking Hotline, along with lots of other hotlines like the Hotline for Suicide Prevention and the Hotline for Drug Abuse, they're not monitored. There's no staff working in them. There's no budget allocated for them. And they get very little assistance. They get a lot of attention, but it's not positive attention. It's not attention from people who are working in their best interest. It's people who are working in favor of exploitation and trying to figure out, who is down on their luck, down on their funds, easy to power and control, easy to manipulate, etc. and so forth. That was in 2019. They burned my hair off 2 weeks before the show, The Love After Lockup, so that they could continue to perpetuate a false narrative that I was crazy. Why is burning my hair off important? Because they burned my hair off with bleach that turned it such a fucking fluorescent orange color. The only color that I could use to cover it was pink. So pink could be alternative, but when you have an uneven cut pixie with little tiny, almost shaven patches, some of the hair was so short, and it's pink, and it's difficult to style, and you feel insecure, you're very easy to roll over. Very easy to roll over. With long, beautiful, healthy, thick hair and a full face of beautifully done makeup and advocacy, you're impossible to fuck with. Right? So they do this shit on purpose. Now, I went to get my hair trimmed at a head spa 2 weeks ago, and guess what they did? Just in timeline with the exact sequence of events that they did in 2019 until Weston was separated from me, taken from me at my hospital where I gave birth to him. They're doing the exact same things, literally the exact same things. They curated a second bludgeoning. They cut my hair without my permission. They Botoxed half of my face, only the right side, so the left side has nothing. I didn't go into a medical spa and ask for Botox. I went to my apartment and went to sleep and woke up like this. I've had Botox since I was 27 years old. I know how the fuck it feels to get Botox. I know that that's what they did to me. I neither consented nor requested that anyone half Botox my fucking face. I have my lips done. I went and got my lips done twice in the last 2 months. Where's the volume? Or I'm sorry, I think it was January and February that I got my lips done. Where's the volume? I just had a full syringe. Where's the volume? I've had 10 syringes of lip filler. Where the fuck is the volume? When they threw me out of my home in 2019 unlawfully, they would literally allow people to pinch my face and pull my face. And then they published some bullshit on my phone that said that Juvederm was migrating, that naturally it was migrating, in an effort to get me to not believe that they had left me to be abused by these fucking weird, creepy people. They call humans squishies, and they squish my fucking face while I'm unconscious, and the rest of my body as well. It's gross. I want to remind everyone, this is not for entertainment. I don't know what the fuck this place is, but I don't live here. And I'd like everyone to get the fuck out of my way so I could get the fuck out of here. This shit is weird, bro. As fuck. Weird. 15 weeks it has been since I've been permitted to speak with my 19-year-old daughter, but you don't want me to think that you guys are doing something bogus to her? Why is my 19-year-old daughter not permitted to call her mother on a regular basis? Now we have law enforcement here in the United States of America, so if someone breaks into your fucking house and injects your face with Botox and you call 911 about it, guess what? They're supposed to come help, right? Also, I want to know how you can say that marijuana is still federally illegal if our doctors who are federally licensed prescribe it. Make that one make sense. Nothing that's going on follows any format or makes any sense. Xavier's been not permitted into the visits for the last, 5-6 weeks for no reason. They told the general public that it was because he was being abusive to me in the visit. They told Xavier and I that it was because he wasn't compliant with his individual therapy. None of it makes any sense. All of it results in more pressure, more pain, more stress on my shoulders. Just, I don't have a witness there to see what's going on. And as I've said from the very beginning, it's all by design. Collusion. Robert Rademeyer is the state's attorney who told me this word. And here's my thing. Usually I've been told not to mention these people's names on my live. Guess what? I went to the courthouse 4 times in effort to speak to these people face to face and get a court date. I'm not being permitted my rights under the United States Constitution, including my right to parent my child, despite the fact that I have parenting rights. I don't know how on earth you can be working as the state's attorney. I can come to your office and say they are raping me, beating me up sexually, not permitting me a witness in my visits, separating me from my children, my family, tech boxing my cell phone, not permitting me to get in front of the judge as an emergency. I have gone to the courthouse, to the basement, to the fucking clerk's office with Xavier. Xavier, how many times have we gone to Ogden in the last 4 weeks? 3 or 4?
Yeah.
At least. And they have refused to allow us to speak to the judge or the state, to speak to the advocacy office, to speak to my own attorney, court-appointed Ellen. Has not called me back in 8 weeks. 8 weeks. The court entered an order that Xavier and I were permitted 3 visits minimum, with our son for 2 hours each from the moment he was born until we go back to court to rediscuss the issue.
They're fucked. At the next
They have canceled our visits more than, I would say, 1/3 of the time. To this moment, at 8:24 on Monday, my visit for today has not been confirmed. I confirmed it. The DCFS caseworker responded back and said, do not text to confirm your visits. I have in writing paperwork saying if I don't text 24 hours in advance to confirm visits, they will cancel the visit. They are punishing me for doing what they asked me to do. They are punishing me for not doing what they asked me to do. They are punishing me for whatever the fuck. And they're not punishing me in a way that's normal. They're punishing me in these passive-aggressive, resentful, abusive, fucked up ways. My fucking handle, the fucking law, 6 years ago, when I started fucking telling you asshole son of a bitch pieces of shit that they were tech boxing me in, that they were raping me and keeping me from being able to call for help. When I told everyone that shit, they labeled me as a paranoid person and put a diagnosis as paranoid personality disorder in my son Weston's file. They said I'm his mother, is mentally ill and has a paranoid personality. I have been proving for 10 years that nothing about what the fuck has happened to me is paranoid. So, the state's attorney, Robert Rademeyer, Amanda Jolly, Sarah West, those are the 3 state's attorneys that are assigned to my case. The judge is Diane Pesanowski. I've requested, because of how controversial and the conflict of interest associated with my case in general are, that this case be public, that I be permitted witnesses, that it be recorded, that there be transcripts provided every single court date. I've explained to the judge and the state that I have numerous times been tech boxed in, meaning my phone is not, despite the fact that I paid the bill, is not permitted to reach internet, is not permitted to reach others, that I am not being able to call for help in positions of danger. They ignore me. Don't talk about the case on the internet, Heather. Oh, don't talk about the case on the internet. Lay down on the ground, be raped and robbed and beaten and abused, accept fake diagnoses that's associated with your name, have your son be fucking handed off to whoever the fuck walks by. Weston is 2 years old. He is supposed to be with his mother. Instead of being with me, we have been separated and I am being tortured, have been being tortured for a long fucking time. For the record, I have left voicemails, numerous voicemails for Lynn Pavlon, for Robert Rademeyer, for Sarah West, for Amanda Jolly, for the judge and whoever controls her schedule. There's someone allegedly named Christina Bourgeon, supposedly, who allegedly is the only person who can give you a court date. We've gone to the courthouse. If you look at my YouTube videos, this is what they did to me in 2019. Dylan was released from prison. They shot the show Love After Lockup, and then this is what the fuck they did. They're repeating the exact same thing that they already once did. I went to the courts in 2019 numerous times. I filled out petitions to see judges numerous times. I was denied my rights and am still to this fucking day being denied my rights. I am a United States citizen. born in this fucking country, paying taxes since I was 14 years old. 1-4. They took me off my insurance. They removed my ability to accept any public assistance via welfare. They said that I am not permitted to accept Link because I owe them $900. I swear to God, on my life, I don't owe them a fucking penny, nothing. Anytime I had a change in income, I reported it immediately. They have 4 certification fund periods. 4. I've never withheld the amount of money I've made. They don't know how to calculate the fact that when you work Uber or Lyft, what you make from Uber or Lyft is not actually what you're making. You have to pay for your car. You have to pay for your gas. That is not included in your profit. They don't fucking listen to me. Ask those people, those high school graduates. They know what the fuck they're doing, right? They don't know their ass from a hole in the fucking ground. They don't know how to calculate profit. They don't know how to fucking be ethical. They don't know how to fucking be fair. They stole my Cadillac Escalade and sold it at auto auction without my permission after I finished making my last payment on it. They have been stalking me intermittently, both online and electronically, as well as in person ever since. I just got this apartment a year ago. I signed a 2-year lease. My landlord terminated my lease early and I need to be out by May 1st because my house is being met with bulk. I'm talking 7 foot tall worth of boxes piled up of condoms, HIV testing kits, and Bibles, all addressed to Heather GoPro Solo Hobo. They have physically held me down and forced me to cut my arm with a razor blade so that they could continue to tell people that I'm mentally unstable. They have raped me multiple times. Rape, not just robbery, rape, as in inserting their sexual organ into mine without my fucking desire or permission. And for the record, none of this is for entertainment. This is not a joke. This is not me seeking attention. I don't give 2 fucks about attention. I care about stability, making enough money to provide for my children, and not being, and that's pretty much it at this point, you know? At this point, they don't fucking give me too much room to have desires outside of that. They asked me if I and Xavier are swingers and what size dick I like. They asked me that with Weston on my lap. I swear, whoever the fuck you believe in, Satan, God, Allah, lo que sea, they asked me that. I swear on your God. And then 3 days later, they said Xavier's not allowed in the visits anymore. Look at my fucking face. Look at my face. And for the record, I'm not a swinger. And I don't have sex with anyone other than my husband. And I'm not being human sex trafficked, to my knowledge, anymore. so much more. I wish I could. They're using a tactic called Kingsbury, which means the guilty party, whomever it is, the one victimizing me in this case, doesn't want to get caught. So in an effort to distract you all or the police or whomever from finding out what they did, they create a bunch of other victims and abuses. So now you don't know where to fucking focus. Do I focus on the woman being raped right in front of me? Do I focus on the child being abused to my right? Do I focus on the baby being separated from his parents for no reason and held by some random woman who alleges she's the DCFS? Welcome to the United States of America in 2026. Meanwhile, we have the AI to organize and streamline these processes so that there would never be a mistake like this ever, ever, ever. Never, not once. But instead, I've been speaking that out loud for 6-7 years now, but rather than incorporating those technologies, everyone wants to be resistant and say, oh, no, that's scary. AI is scary. Instead, since we're not being adversely affected, let's just sit back and continue to let this woman be raped because we can press mute on her. I say yesterday, we need to be at the gym at 6:30, 6:44 out the door, rather, at the gym by 7. I need a good hour to exercise. I am not feeling well. I also need an hour to shower and get ready for my visit. They have allowed me to go to one visit with Weston with makeup on in the last 6 months. They intentionally caused me to look disheveled, scared, nervous, shaken up. And I'm going to remind you because it is easy to roll over a person whose hair's all fucked up, makeup is all fucked up, dressed like they just fucking woke up. Let me walk in a suit, head to toe, makeup on, hair impeccable. Let me use the information and experience I know to deal with these people. Now we're on a fucking even playing field. That's why they keep me, whatever the fuck you want to call this. At this level of education, self-awareness, awareness of what's going on around me, I am not willing to engage in this society. This is gross. We have blatant I don't even know what to call it when someone rapes you and the criminal justice system is watching. They're fucking watching me get raped. Stop comparing me to you, bitch. I could walk a fucking tightrope where you would need a 2x4 on its side. I do not, no. At the end of the day, here's the deal. I've been documenting all of this shit and more, way more. Do you think that I started hashtagging B-Law because I was having a good time on the internet? No, I was being threatened. I was being told that I should kill myself. I was receiving tens of thousands of comments telling me I was fat, ugly, a crackhead, a bitch, an abuser, a sexual predator. Oh my God, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. I want to remind everyone that if I were making this up or delusional, if I were hallucinating that this was going on, that would be a problem that would be easy to identify externally by medical doctors. However, one of the most prestigious hospitals in existence, Northwestern, I have a great relationship with. You know why? Because I worked there for 6 fucking years, and I didn't just work with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 doctors. I worked with about 50 or 60 doctors all the time, every day, in no Saturday and Sundays, Monday through Fridays, in the same office as all of those doctors. If I was hallucinator or having a stroke or, psychologically incapable, any one of those doctors or the numerous counterparts and collaborators that they work with would have been able to notice. Do you think that they would have kept me employed under the job capacity of writing prescriptions, taking care of patients, taking blood, administering injections? Do you think that I would have had that job if I was a hallucinator or mentally ill? Likely not, right? then they're telling me to gas or else. Gas or else. I don't have any money saved up to move. I have a car payment, car insurance, and numerous other things. I have no desire to be walking around the city of Chicago as a renegade with you fucking people. No thanks. You don't accomplish anything by rendering yourself homeless and jobless and walking around the city with a blowhorn. You need to make money to be influential. You can use your voice, you can use other things, but you can't be a poor bottom feeder sleeping on the side of the fucking road and think people with any sort of ability to help you are going to respect or take advice from you when you're living under those circumstances. Nobody wants to hear life guidance from someone who, listen, I don't want someone who's never bought a house to tell me how to buy a house, right? I would rather go buy a house from someone who has already purchased a house and knows how to buy a house and knows what to expect. It's the same shit. Same shit. I do not. I want nothing to do with them, any of them. They're following me around with Ford Escapes. Here's another one. This is the 9th or 10th Ford Escape to follow me just today. Just today. One day. I've been awake for 2 hours. This has been ongoing for 8 weeks. Do I have to start taking photos of all of the vehicles that they enlist to follow me? So they'll enlist a Ford Edge or a Ford Escape. When it's the Ford Edge, they make me Edge, which is some weird sex shit. I guess people get turned on by forcing a woman to feel like she's going to have orgasm or urinate on herself and then stopping that feeling. They have implanted me with whatever the fuck so that they could externally control me. They're not sex toys. But yeah, let's just all keep watching while they rape Heather. Fucking fantastic. Phenomenal. What do you guys want to do today? Oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll all go rent some Ford Escapes and follow Heather around. Yeah. I'm going to the courthouse 3 times in 4 weeks requesting to see the judge as an emergency. I have emailed the judge directly with CCs for every state's attorney and my attorney, Ellen Sidney Wise. I have not heard back from anyone in over 8 weeks. Either I am in another tech box and my communications are not being permitted, or something is wrong with the entire court staff. Fucking robbing me, stealing out of my apartment, fucking with my belongings, separating me from my kids, refusing communication, stalking me, harassing me, following me around, autocorrect changing my fucking text that I'm writing to say tent, homeless. How about penthouse, bitch? I want to remind everyone, for the record, this is not for entertainment. This is not for a TV show or a sitcom or a fucking drama. I've never once agreed to participation in any sort of show. I've never once said, sure, exploit my real life situation and force me into a state of panic and confusion for ratings. This is not for attention. I want my children and my life back. (8:44). I have to be at the gym by 8 to get 1 hour of exercise and an hour to shower and get ready. It's 8:44. Every morning, every fucking morning for the last 11, maybe 12 days. This is what they've been doing. And the law enforcement associated with this case is Edgewater law enforcement in general. I've even called Loyola campus fucking security about this shit. There is no one I have not called for help. When this first started, It was no problem. I had structure. I could feel the energy and presence of my mom, my sister, people who loved me. We would wake up every morning. We would exercise. We would cook lunch for Weston, pack it neatly in a lunchbox, get his entire, toys, outfits, the bag that I carry to visit him ready, make my bed, get everything ready, get my clothes on, get ready for the day, etc., and so forth, and go to the visit and have a great visit. Me, Xavier, the baby would be there. I haven't felt my mom's energy or my sister's energy in a long time. And the energy that I do feel is awful and destructive and has no common goals with me. They are not working for my best interest. They are not working to reunite Weston and I. They are not working for my mom and my sister's happiness. They are not working for me and my children to be okay. They are gross, disgusting, garbage individuals who are working with a fucking agenda of destroying my existence so that they can reappropriate whatever the fuck I have. Like I've said so many other times, I'm a funny girl. I'm beautiful. I'm sexy. I'm a great mom. I'm caring. I'm compassionate. I'm kind. Don't you think that I'd prefer creating content that falls under any one of those categories rather than I'm being tortured, please fucking help me? Who in the fuck would create content like this for attention? I don't give a fuck about attention. I want money and a house for me and my kids. What the fuck don't you get? Fuck! So it's now 8:48, and still to this moment, no one has called to text or confirm.
So there you guys have it. Another update on Heather and what she's been up to, which is pretty much the same shit, just crashing out. Go ahead and leave a comment. I'll be back with another video.